Hey everyone, BioFan here at PAX South with Deanna Jones, the community manager on the Heroes of Dragon Age phone app.
That's me.
So, what is your favorite color?
White. And I guess people know that I have a unique answer because I get asked this question all the time. Actually, we had an AMA for our December forum contest for HODA, and I got asked that question 3 times, and I was like, I guess you really want to know what my favorite color is?
And where are you from?
I'm actually originally from Florida.
Okay. Fellow Southern Belle.
Yeah. I do my best. I'm from Florida. I lived there for 22 years. I went to college in Florida, and then I moved to D.C., and then from D.C. I went to Seattle, and then from Seattle I went to California, where I am now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, is this your first time at PAX South?
No, I came here last year for the first PAX South, and then I've been to PAX East in Boston. I've been to PAX Prime in Seattle several times. So
you're a PAX regular then.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, there's obviously unique experiences at each, but you do start to kind of notice the patterns of each one. But I would love to go to the one in Australia sometime. You know, who would turn that down?
Exactly.
You know, go to PAX in Australia.
So you were on a panel this year at PAX.
I was.
How did the panel go? What was the panel about?
The panel was managing a game community on mobile, and it went really well. I was nervous because Cliff gave his keynote at the same time, and I was like, oh man, we're going to have like 4 people. You know, let's plant people in the audience, you know, let's pay them. But no, we had a good crowd, and I could tell with their questions that they really wanted to be there and that they had thought about their questions beforehand because they were really good questions. I had 2 fellow mobile community managers with me, Jason and Tara. It went really, really well. You know, sometimes those things are harder to gauge when you're in the moment. I'm sure you understand.
Yeah.
But no, it went well. So the only thing that I was really nervous about was keeping track of the time. You know, I put my phone away, but I think in the future I'll have it out in just like airplane mode or whatever. Because we were getting the signals for how much time we had left, but I never saw them. You know what I mean? Like, so Jason knew. I could tell he was on it. He knew the time that was left, but I did not. So that was the only thing, was like how long of an answer should I give? You know, we want to get to all the questions, and then you want everyone else on the panel to answer as well. So that was the only thing, is I had a little hard time keeping track of time, but it went really well.
Okay, awesome. So what does a community manager do in general, and in what ways does your work with the mobile app differ from that?
Well, a community manager is the conduit between the dev team and the players. And so it's really a cycle and a loop of how did the players feel about something, and taking that feedback to the dev team, and then the dev team's response is basically giving it back to the players. If you really like something, if you really don't like something, you know, those are the things that we have to look out for. On a day-to-day basis, I'm constantly checking the forums, checking our Facebook, handling our social media as well. Talking with your moderators, that's very important. Content planning, and so it's kind of a struggle. And actually, we talked about this in the panel yesterday, how you have to be in the moment about what is live in the game right then, because that's what your players are seeing, and that's where your issues and your bugs are going to arise. But you also have to be thinking about the future. You know, so in October, you're thinking about Christmas content. And in February, you're thinking about April Fool's content. And in July, you're thinking about Halloween. You know what I mean? Like, and so you can't really go too deep into one, because then you have to, like, shift back into the other. And that's challenging. And so for me, the most important thing is organization. I have to have my ducks in a row. You know, I have to, I have an Excel sheet where I keep track of everything, and, you know, this is my task, this is the date it needs to be complete, you know, am I blocked? Yes, no, you know, and, that saved my life, because it's a lot of work, and people, I think, don't realize how much work goes into it. Like, I haven't been bored since the day I started, you know. And it's because we're a mobile game. The differences are that we're on all the time. or a moving train that we're trying to put cargo on. And so the feedback, therefore, is, it's constant. Every day there's a new thread there's many new threads on the forums.
Is it the BioWare forums? Or?
No, we have our own.
You have your own?
We
okay.
do. We have our own. We do, have the hardcore Dragon Age players. We also have CCG players, and then we have people that just found our game, So it's an interesting mix of both. And they definitely get into like lore debates and everything. So they don't leave lore at the window just because you know what I mean? Like they're like, no, come on, like, it's always on. Actually, we talked about this yesterday too, where community managers really don't get a day off. If I did, gosh, there'd be riots.
I know exactly what you mean.
I mean, if I don't keep my eye on them, because things happen. It doesn't. Actually, a couple weeks ago, I was out of the country and tried to be discreet about it, and we had a couple issues, and so on a plane, and you have to take care of something. I was trying on these awesome leggings in an H&M dressing room, and I started getting my pings on the phone. And I was like, well, it doesn't matter how awesome these leggings are, work comes first, But it's constant, and it's always changing, and so you have to adapt very quickly. And the nature of the beast is that sometimes you think that they're really going to like something, and they don't, some things just don't go over well. And then some things you decide kind of last minute. You're like, oh, we have a little bit of time, let's throw that in there. And then they love it. And you're like, oh, well, I'm really glad we put that in there. Like it's a push-pull, it's definitely a push-pull. Okay.
What recent features have been added to the mobile app that you're excited about?
Yeah, actually, we just had a big update last week. So we have some things going forward that we have a new client update, which we hadn't done in a really long time. So we got to do some big things, some game-changing things, and things that the players have been asking for a while. We're going to be bringing daily login rewards, which are huge, because every day that you log in, the rewards get better and better. They accumulate. So that's exciting. Well, we also, because we have so many dragons in the game, they were different sizes, and sometimes that was intentional, and sometimes it wasn't. So we just went back and did basically a revamp and made sure that the dragons were the correct sizes, because they are large creatures in the game. So yeah, they're pretty cool, and everybody wants intimidating dragons. You don't want your dragon to be, like.
In Inquisition, and the dragons are pretty intimidating, but then once you know that their movements are modeled after cats, they're actually really funny to watch.
Yeah, there's always like those little secrets, and I love hearing those stories about how things came to be, because sometimes it's really, really surprising, like I remember when Patrick Weeks talked about how you could romance Solus. And how he just did it on his own. It wasn't part of the plan. He wanted to do it, to try it, and he wrote
bring all the feels,
right? To make us all upset, even more upset, right? But he just wrote it over the weekend, and then on Monday came into the office and said, "I wrote a romance, for your character to romance, Solus." But things like that, I find this so fascinating, because as much as we plan, because there's a lot of planning, but there's also the surprises, and I've noticed that with my forum contest. I'll get an idea, and then I'm like, oh, I have to call my boss right this second, and get approval, because when the magic happens, it's very exciting, and that's for anyone, anyone on the team, the magic can happen to programmers, you can get your breakthroughs in QA, your artists, so.
Okay, cool. Which heroes are on your squad?
So I actually have a lot of, like the original, legendary characters, because for me, I'm always going to go with the characters that I just like more than strategy. I mean, strategy is great too, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, I guess.
You're sentimental.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm being a girl. But I have King Alistair, because he was one of the very first legendary heroes that I got in the game. And I have Witherfang, because Witherfang is just such a cool character. And she was also really hard to get in the game for a while. She's very coveted, so have her in my squad. I have Nugs.
You know me well. I love Nugs.
Yeah, I've got the Nugs. Like Schmooples is in my squad.
Schmooples is the best.
And I love that cute little outfit that we put on the Nugs. Like, gosh, and we theme the Nugs too. Like we have winter Nugs, and they're. I'm
You
always.
can do so much with Nugs.
You can. It's and we had chocolate Nugs for April Fools last year. Yeah. That look you gave me, like, what? Where's this going?
I'm like, why are you eating Nugs? You horrible person.
It was like an April Fool's Easter, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm always gonna go with the characters that make me happy. I used to be extremely competitive, and I cared a little bit more about strategy, but now I'm like, no, I just want to be happy with my my Nugs and my squad.
So, who are your favorite characters in the app in general?
Well, Witherfang. Witherfang's really cool. And I have to also then say Lady of the Forest as well. So she's an epic in the game. And she was when the game first came out, you could buy a pack with a guaranteed epic hero. Being a CCG, that's more rare to be guaranteed, specific hero. And when I got her, I was thrilled. I was like, oh, I love her so much. She's such a fun character. And then, of course, I would have to say the Nugs. We're noticing a trend here. But as far as strategy, Dorian he's really good. He's very powerful. And I like him too, in the game. He's one of my favorites. We have a couple different versions of Solus. So we tend to do that in the game. We have like a Dragon Morgan, we have Inquisition Morgan, we have Witch of the Wilds Morgan, to show their different phases, and then they have their different tags, to whatever's appropriate. And I love Morgan too. She's such an interesting character. It's hard. This is Deanna's choice. Asking me to choose.
So, in the Dragon Age games, who is your favorite romance in terms of Inquisition and the series as a whole?
In Inquisition, I had a male Inquisitor, and I romanced Cassandra, and she's probably my overall favorite character. I really, really like her because she's so strong and passionate, and she really goes after what she believes in. She has a very strong faith and a strong compass, but she's also very feminine, and I loved that there was a balance with her. In Origins, I, big surprise, romanced Alistair.
It's okay, I did too. Everyone did.
No, he's it's funny. I mean, my first playthrough I played as a male. And we were bros, and then I was like, I have to get through this playthrough so I can play as a female and and get that rose, I wanna be with Alistair. I normally don't do this. I normally don't look things up, especially the first playthrough. So I didn't in the first playthrough, but I had heard rumors about Alistair and how, depending on your character, you have very different endings. And I was like, well, I'm going to marry Alistair. So whatever I have to do to make that happen, So I did. I played exactly how I was supposed to play to get the ending that I wanted. And it's fun. I mean, especially with BioWare games, that's the nature of the beast right there, is you think that it's not going to be a big deal, and then you make a choice, and you're like, oh no. That decision I made 2 games ago is really hurting me right now. But I've got it down, and same goes for Mass. Now I know it like the back of my hand, all the decisions I want to make my perfect, perfect ending. Romanced Alistair in Origins, and then in DA2, I had a male character, and romanced Isabella.
Isabella's the best.
With Isabella, I wasn't quite sure what to make of her at first, because she's such a unique, character. But I think that's exactly why I wanted go for it. I was like, I'm afraid she's going to go rogue, no pun intended. And she can, depending on your choices. But I was like, no, let's do something different. I have to tell myself to do that when I play games, because I have a bad habit of liking a certain way to play and then just playing that way over and over. And so I'm like, no, you need to have some variety, and so what I have to say though, after admitting that, is because I don't want it to feel like all that work has gone to waste. I don't want to feel like there's a scene that the team spent, weeks on that I'm not going to get to see because of the choices that I've made, and so because I can't do every decision, every playthrough, I've watched everything because I do want to know what's out there. I want to see what characters say to other characters if you make this choice, or if you romance this character, if you are mean to them, if you're nice to them, so that's always my justification. If I do pick kind of the same path, give or take, then I will look everything up, and I'll read the wikis, I'll read the forums, because I love the knowledge of the BioWare games, so I'm going to continue to romance Alistair every time I play Origins, but I would like to know what it would be like to, romance Severin or Liliana, or Morrigan. So yeah, it's always Alistair. It's funny though, because
it really is always Alistair.
It's funny for me because in real life he's not my type at all. Yeah. Let me just go ahead and put that out there.
Well, he's not trying to be real. David Gator wrote him as the ideal man, but unrealistically so.
Right. I mean, he kind of is the prince on a white horse riding down the beach, and
with cheese.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but no, I mean, and I think that is why I was like, oh, what is this, But yeah, it's always Alistair.
Who's your favorite Mass Effect romance?
Ashley.
Oh, really?
Ashley. Yeah, Ashley's my girl. And I know there's a lot of hate for Ashley. And
I'll just pretend you didn't kill my space boyfriend. It's okay.
No, but it hurts. It breaks my heart because I think she's misunderstood. I'll say that because, again, as I've admitted, I do tend to make the same choices, And so on my most recent Mass playthrough, for Vermeer, that I would have to leave her there. Or I could not keep her in my squad and romance someone else, And so I did. I left her behind, and I picked Kaden, and I didn't think I was gonna make, you know what I mean? I was like, I'm gonna have to load. I can't do this, guys. But no, it broke my heart. It was really sad, and that's how you know that the characters mean so much to you, because you care. I cried when a fictional character died on one of my 9 playthroughs of a game. Just one. This one time I made this choice, and it still deeply, deeply affected me, But yeah, Ashley's my girl. But my most recent playthrough, I romanced Miranda.
Oh.
That's all I'll say about that.
Do you think that we may eventually see a Heroes of Dragon Age type mobile app for the Mass Effect franchise?
Well, that's something I would love, because I am the biggest Mass Effect fan in the world.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put that out there.
Have some competition, but okay.
I'm pretty confident. No, I love Mass, so I would love for that to happen. I would, and I would obviously want to be that community manager. If that day came, then yeah, I'd have to just knock out the competition and take the role for myself.
What are some of your favorite memories working for BioWare and EA?
There's a lot. Yeah, I mean, especially I think going through the cycles of making the games, you're in the trenches together, and you get really close with people, some of my closest friends are at the studio and at BioWare, and I'm so grateful, and you hang out, you go to these conferences and you hang out and you have a blast. And, I think something that everyone has to remember is that devs are people too, so yes, very talented, but they're still people, they still eat and brush their teeth like you do, and I have a lot of great memories. Actually, a couple days ago, I was in Austin. I saw the Austin team. And that was a blast.
They're all so much fun over there in Austin.
We had a great time, and I got a message that was like, "There's a lot of laughing coming from that room," and I was like, "Yeah, there is. There's a lot of laughter," and I think because game dev is so stressful, you do have to find the laughs. You do have to go out and get dinner, go out for coffee breaks. Find that. Those really wonderful moments, and there are some wonderful moments. I mean, there are times when I've hung out with Chris Payne, and I've laughed so hard that I'm like, I'm gonna stop breathing. the tears in your eyes, like I'm not gonna,
this is it. I can see the light.
Exactly.
It's over.
But if this is how I go out, then so be it. And my bestie Jeff is up there at BioWare as well. And I've had some great times with him too. We've had a blast, and there you do have your tough days, but then you have your awesome days, and that's what keeps you going, because it's long days, sometimes into the morning, and things break, and then the forums are on fire, and this and that, and things go wrong, and but your team will get you through, and you create a very special bond. Actually, one of the designers, Gabe and I, were recording videos. We're doing content videos.
Oh, cool!
Yeah, and those are going to start coming out pretty soon, assuming they look good when we go back and watch them. And you know what? That was a blast too. I got to tell you. And oh gosh, I remember thinking this is only going to take an hour. Yeah, right. You know what I mean? Like an hour, maybe for one video, to do them all, But yeah, I did good, and then he would mess up, and I did, you know what I mean? And, or someone would walk by and you get distracted, or, Gabe kept saying, actually, you know what I mean? That happens, it's just, you get nervous. Or you start a sentence and you don't really know how you're going to end it, and he kept saying actually. And I was like, you've said actually 5 times in one sentence, and then I got the giggles, so we both, I made a that's what she said joke, and then I couldn't recover, and Kay was like, we have to get through this, and I was like, I know, I want to, but even that, recording these videos, and, you'll see them and they'll be 2 minutes, and then I think about how much time and effort it took to go into making the video and, editing and putting the sound and putting the little...
I like to tell people that a good estimate is for every minute of video you see is at least an hour of work.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably true. And the same kind of goes for, I think, my big post on the forums. Not the ones that say, oh, congrats, I'm glad you got that hero. Not those, but the forum contest, all those things have to be approved. You know what I mean? The messaging and those take a while, so I look at it and I'm like, well, that doesn't look like much, but gosh, all the people that had to see it, and and this person checked it, and this person gave this feedback, and then you look at it and you're like, that's it.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me today, Deanna.
Thank you. It's been fun. I hope you have a great first PAX.
Thank you. It's been a blast so far.
Yeah, this will be one of many.
One of many, definitely. I hope you enjoyed my interview with Deanna Jones. Be sure to also check out my interviews with BioWare producer Liz Lehtonen, lead writer Patrick Weeks, as well as several others. For more Dragon Age, Mass Effect, and BioWare-related videos, subscribe to my channel by clicking the big red subscribe bar up here on the screen. For instant news coverage of BioWare games, you can follow me on Twitter and other forms of social media, links to which can be found down in the video description. If you like my videos and would like to donate to help support my channel, head on over to my Patreon page. For more information about how your donations can help me improve my channel, here's a link to a video about that provided on screen as well.